there, I'm Tammy Gibbs, and I'm an everyday romantic. That may sound like something I just made up for this new playbook, but the truth is, this heart for romance has been with me for a very long time. More than 20 years ago, my book, Recipes for Romance from the Leading Ladies and Gentlemen of Romance, was published. It was a collection of recipes, romantic rendezvous ideas, sweet treats, and reflections from some wonderful authors in the romance world. It launched in 2001 during a season when the world felt especially heavy. And looking back now, I think maybe that is part of why the message mattered so much. People still needed tenderness. They still needed connection. They still needed reminders that love, playfulness, and little acts of romance could make ordinary life feel warmer. And they still need that today, too. Now I've got a new playbook to help couples reconnect and add a little everyday romance back into their relationships. And I thought you might like to join me as I look back at how this amazing journey started. This is my scrapbook from the book launch of Recipes for Romance from the Leading Ladies and Gentlemen of Romance. And it was released in 2001. Yep, here I am with my signature cowboy hat. And these are just some of the reviews that I received way back then. More reviews. Oh, here's one of my first signings with a friend. And here is my first Walden Books signing. It was in the mall there in Savannah. It was just the first of many different signings I did. This is basically, this was a really neat promotion I did. The actual launch, and that's covered later in the playbook, the scrapbook that is. Mingle with the Stars these were some of the attending authors that were in the book that we launched at the Romantic Times Book Lovers Convention in Orlando. And so this was something I gave out as people purchased, and they were able to take this card around and get it autographed by all the authors. And then they would take, on that Saturday, they did a huge book fair, book signing event, and they were able to take their Recipes for Romance book, and they could flip to each one of those authors' pages and also have them sign that. So that was really cool. Here's one of the newspaper. I was on the front page here on this newspaper. And I was also on had several TV appearances, but this particular one was WSAV. It was Lindy Brannon's Just Down the Road segment. They actually came to where I live in Vidalia, Georgia, and they actually set up their camera crew, and Lindy Brannon was there, and I actually cooked up or mixed up something, one of the recipes from the cookbook, and so they did that whole segment. That was really very cool. These are just some of the media appearances that I did. Had several different TV radio segments, lots of articles, lots of newspapers. I was even interviewed by a radio station in Canada, which was also very cool. And then these are some of the mentions that I got at, in different little places. This is the Romantic Times Book Lovers Convention book fair. And you can see that I was right here, and this was like a dream come true. A couple of my favorite authors, Heather Graham and Jude Devereaux, were actually seated beside me, and we had just a lovely time. I had a lot of fun at that book launch. Here's the tables with me signing books here. Here's Heather Graham. Here's lots of other authors and books, and I gave away a romantic survival basket. This was Jude Devereaux's Tea for a Knight in Shining Armor. They were celebrating, and I don't remember exactly what anniversary for that. This is literally one of the reasons I write time travel romance. She is like one of my favorite authors. So it was such a cool thing to be seated right beside her, to be able to attend these events with her. Here we are. They actually had a Renaissance ball type of a thing at Arabian Nights Dinner Theater, where they pretty much closed down for that evening. And here's me with and my husband with Pat Racy, another author, and me with Pam Johnson, another author. We were all dressed in our Renaissance attire, or close as we could get it. More of our costumed folks. We had so much fun. Here's another of the baskets that I gave away. And then these are some of the autographs that I collected from different ones. This is from Catherine Falk. She did my foreword, and she was the CEO of Romantic Times Magazine. And Jude Devereaux, Lee Greenwood, Jennifer Dooney, and Heather Graham, Pamela Johnson, Roxanne Rustin, lots of the ones that were there. Here's another one of the websites that covered. This is actually was like an all romance website that picked up and gave me a little shout out. And then here's another one of the newspapers. And then here's Bella Online, another write-up, review kind of thing, article about it. Know Your Author. Mary Emma Allen did she was like a cooking writer, and she wrote a whole write-up on it. So anyway, that's pretty much my whole little scrapbook with most of my highlights from it. And I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that you will take and enjoy the everyday romantic. On this channel, we're going to be elaborating. We'll be digging down into some of the neat little things you can do that are showcased inside of the new playbook. If you haven't taken a chance to look at the playbook and read all about it, then definitely go check out the website. The link will be here on my channel. But my husband and I, Mike is my husband, and we are going to be, doing videos and basically just helping everyone become an everyday romantic and add a little romance into your lives. The playbook is basically geared towards married couples that have gotten so busy with everything else that they've kind of forgotten how to date each other. And so it gives lots and lots of ideas. It's over 400 pages, and then there's another it's like 90 something pages, kind of a workbook where I basically pulled out the worksheets that are embedded into that 400 page playbook, and just so it would make it easier, so you could kind of flip through those rather than going through 400 pages. You can just go through that. I've got all kinds of things like romantic menus, and there's all about music and videos and just all kinds of cool stuff, and we're really excited about bringing you some really cool videos. So we hope you'll stay tuned and you'll subscribe to the channel so you get all of our updates. For now, I hope that every day and evening is a romantic one.